I believe that all true learning is self-learning. So then the job of the teacher is to create an environment in which the opportunity to learn is made as readily available as possible. When people watch this video of 3- and 4-year-old children making pancakes by themselves, they are usually surprised and delighted at the sight of such independent, capable children. The most common response has been to ask, how is this possible? Well, it's a process that started 7 months earlier when the children first came to school. Let's think of all the things that you need to do in order to make pancakes. You have to put on your apron, measure out liquid and dry ingredients, mix the batter, pour the batter onto the griddle, flip the pancakes, serve the pancakes, clean up, wash, dry, and put away the dishes, and make everything ready for the next person's turn. Let's look at just one of the skills that is needed to make pancakes: the precise measurement of liquid. This falls under the category of pouring. To introduce the concept of pouring, I start with an open bin of dry grain and an assortment of containers for the child to experiment with. She pours with many different kinds of containers with which she can just dump the grain freely and explore the texture of the grain. Gradually, the child experiences concepts such as volume and velocity. The teacher sets the boundary that the child should work to keep the grain in the bin and not allow it to spill over the side. When a spill does occur, there's no frustration on the part of the teacher. She demonstrates to the child how to sweep up the spilt grain and dispose of it. By cleaning up himself or herself, the child becomes responsible for her own work. Only then does the child feel genuine satisfaction. Next, I introduce dry pouring with 2 like vessels on a tray. The child must learn to carry the work safely to and from the shelf to the table. She pours the dry grain from one vessel to another without the grain spilling. Again, the spills are no problem. The means to clean up are set up in advance. In the next work, things are nearly the same. The only variance is that there is now water, and the container is a pitcher with a spout and handle. Cleanup is done with a sponge and a bowl rather than a broom. Next, we pour water into 2 containers. This requires the ability to stop pouring when the container is full, even though there is still more water in the pitcher. The child's pouring skills are further enhanced when they learn to pour and stop at an exact measuring line. When this last pouring skill is mastered, the child now has all the pouring skills necessary to make pancakes. Every other skill used in the making of pancakes has its own process that can be broken down in the same way. It can then be presented in a simple progression that allows the child to learn without being overwhelmed. This process takes place in every subject in the classroom, including practical life, training of the senses, mathematics, language, reading, writing, music, art, sciences, geography. All of these subjects can be broken down into parts that fit the child's abilities. In the prepared environment, the child can choose what task he would like to do, and then he's allowed to do this work without interruption. The teacher gives the lesson when the child shows interest in the new activity. The teacher observes carefully. She learns about the child and the quality of the work that she has prepared and the match between the two from her observations. She will continually make adjustments to create a prepared environment that allows for self-education. When I am in my classroom, I get to observe children who are working with intense concentration and self-direction. The joy and happiness just emanates from them. Trust develops naturally between the student and teacher as she respects the child by meeting his need to learn and do for himself. And yet she's always there when he needs guidance or redirection. The children were very capable of making pancakes, but it looks like I should have provided some work for them to learn to eat pancakes. I'll have to remember that for next time.